not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rurouni Gamer. My name is Matt, and this is my final thoughts and redirect for episodes 39, 40, and 41 of Rurouni Kenshin. So go ahead, click the link in the description, check that out, and then come back here and let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see next week's reaction video, check out my Patreon. The link is also in the description. Over there, I have early access for all of the reaction videos that I post here on YouTube, with the exception of My Hero Academia. And I normally post within 24 hours of the current YouTube video that's live. So, yeah, if you're interested, check that out. Okay, so Kenshin finally made it to Kyoto with Misao. And the first thing they set out to do was to find a replacement for the reverse blade sword after it got destroyed by that kid that's like Shishio's servant, or I don't know what the heck he is, but he's a demon. He shows no emotion. He might be a psychopath. I'm not sure. But he's a badass kid anyway, and he broke up Kenshin's sword in the previous reaction video I did. And now Kenshin's trying to find a replacement. But it turns out the guy who made his sword back in the day has passed, and his son has taken over. And since the Meiji era started, he decided to close down shop and just make, kitchen cutlery instead. So I mentioned this in the reaction video. I didn't really care for the son of the swordsmith, because, or at least until the end, I didn't care for him, because he seemed very naive to me. He was saying, oh, well, this is a time of peace. Why would I make swords in a time of peace? Nothing could happen in the time of peace. He just seemed extremely naive. Like there was absolutely no reason to ever have a sword in this new era, because it's a peaceful era. And there just wouldn't be any reason. And swords are banned, so why have them? I don't know. I didn't agree with it. Y'all know from watching the reaction how I feel about it, but at least he was able to realize his mistake at the end, and he realized that you need to be able to protect yourself. Time of peace or not, things may happen, bad people may show up, and they're gonna have swords. They're not gonna just not have them because they're banned. It's the same thing with the gun debates these days. People are gonna have guns, okay? At least in the States, that is. I know some of y'all are probably watching from other countries, but in the States there's big gun debates about whether or not people should have guns or different types of guns, and I'm not going to get all into that, but it's along the same lines. And my personal opinion is you should have them. You need to be able to protect yourself if people show up, and in this case somebody showed up and he took their kid pretty easily, and if they had maybe had at least one sword on hand in order to be able to protect themselves, it may not have happened. But the guy learned his lesson. The only way to protect the peaceful era is to be the person who will protect it. You have to be somebody who is willing to protect it and use the means necessary to protect it, and that could mean using a sword. So he ended up giving the sword, his last sword, to Kenshin, which was cool in the end. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say really about that guy. Unfortunately, though, Kenshin thought that he had killed somebody, which was probably really hard on him, and I thought it would break him more than it did, but I'm glad to see that it didn't. He originally thought that he used a regular sword to slay that dude, and I forget his name right now, but he was one of, he belonged to a group that was working for Shishio, or maybe the group that is Shishio's. I don't remember the name of it, but he was trying to kill that kid, the little baby kid. So Kenshin did anything he had to do to be able to stop him, and that included giving himself the resolve he needed to kill the guy. Fortunately, even though he didn't know it at the time, it was a reverse blade sword, so he didn't actually kill him. But I thought it would the resolve needed to pull the sword from its sheath would be enough to break Kenshin a little bit, but it seems to be that he was able to kind of snap himself out of that fairly quickly. So, yeah. So he decides that he has to go to find his old master to become stronger in the Hiten Mitsurugi style and learn the final techniques that he needs to know in order to beat Shishio and beat him using a reverse blade sword and without killing. His master didn't want to train him at first. He said that he's very naive for thinking that he can just be this wanderer who doesn't kill people and also be the guy who needs to stop evildoers, if you will, from bringing down the peacefulness of this revolution, of this new era. And he thinks that the Hiten Mitsurugi style, sometimes there is a need to kill if it's the right need. And he thinks that Kenshin is being selfish in his ideals of not killing anybody. And I can kind of see his point. We haven't really looked at it from that point of view. But in the end, he decides to teach him because of Kaoru and Yahiko telling the story to the master. I forget his name, but they told the story to him, basically telling everything about how he's there to stop Shishio. And he doesn't want to see the Meiji era fall either, because now he's just a pottery maker, or a potter they call him. Whatever. So anyway, he decides to teach him, and yeah, that's where we left off with Kenshin, and it'll be really cool to see what training he gets to perfect and master the final pieces of the Hiten Mitsurugi style. And also, Aoshi is now with Shishio. I don't know what that'll mean, if Aoshi will eventually find the peace in his heart that the old man told him to find, or if he will continue to seek vengeance on Kenshin for what had happened to his crew in the Oniwaban group, even though in my opinion it wasn't really Kenshin's fault. It was really Aoshi's fault for siding with that opium dealer. But we'll find out what happens with that in the upcoming episodes, I'm sure. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I really like these episodes a lot. They were really, really, really great episodes. And this show is just getting better and better by the episode. And I can't wait to see where it goes and how this arc will end. And I'm sure it'll be fantastic. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Chronic Gamer. Peace.